Hello there. Theresa May has stated that she is confident of brokering a good free trade deal with the EU prior to Brexit Day. The Prime Minister Theresa May told the Commons Liaison Committee yesterday that she is confident that a free trade deal can be struck with the EU prior to the expected Brexit Day of the 29th of March 2019. That is what we are working to, and that is what I believe we can do, she said. The reason I'm confident that we can do this within the time concerned is because we start off from a different point. So we haven't got a situation where country A is coming to negotiate with the EU not having had any arrangements with the EU before. She also rejected claims made by the SNP MP Angus MacNeil that she had begged for the 2-year transition phase. I haven't begged the European Union for 2 more years, she said. This is not 2 more years to negotiate with the EU. This is 2 years when practically both businesses and governments will be able to put in place the changes necessary to move from the current relationship to the future partnership we will have. And in reply to the suggestion yesterday from the EU Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier that a Brexit deal would not be able to include financial services, the Governor of the Bank of England, Mark Carney, told the Treasury Select Committee, "I don't accept the argument that just because it has not been done in the past, it can't be done in the future. We'd just walk away from progress if that was the approach we took to issues. The UK financial system, like it or not, is effectively the banker for Europe in the most complicated bits of finance. There are substantial economies of scale and scope that benefit both sides." The Bank of England is also planning a preemptive move to treat European banks operating in the UK as branches instead of as more expensive subsidiaries that would require them to be separately capitalised. Seems like the UK is doing all the imaginative stuff to keep the wheels of finance oiled. Let's see if the EU is sensible enough to reciprocate. A new report from Migration Watch UK shows the stark impact on our young people of the recent high levels of inward migration. As net migration has increased, the number of homes has not, so putting inexorable upward pressure on house prices and rents. Here are some of the statistics that young people should mull over before extolling the virtues of everything EU. The number of households headed up by those aged 25 to 34 who own their own home, either outright or with a mortgage, fell from around 57% in 2006-07 to around 38% in 2015-16. Nearly half of all such households, 46%, now live in the private rented sector, almost double the figure of 24% 10 years ago. While some of the change results from the fact that migrants are more likely to rent, the number of households formed by UK-born renters has also increased substantially. And in the private rented sector, the proportion of households in England living in the private rented sector has increased from 12% of households in 2006 to 20% in 2015-16. Since 2005, the number of households in the private rented sector with a foreign-born household reference person has increased by over 700,000, more than doubling from 503,000 to 1.2 million in 2015, and now accounting for 1/3 of privately rented households in England. When looking at London, rents in London have risen by 36% in the last 10 years, considerably faster than average earnings, which rose by 21% over the same period. Immigrant households now account for nearly 2/3 of all households in the private rented sector in London. the proportion of social housing in London occupied by immigrant households is close to 50%, up from 40% 10 years ago. This implies, says Migration Watch, that the majority of new allocations over that period have gone to immigrant households. And I bet none of this factors in the illegal outhouses and beds in sheds in areas of London that were made so prominent by David Cameron back in 2013, and something that is still going on to this day. If anyone cares to remember the picture of Cameron stood looking at the contents of a squalid shack in a London back garden, I've left links in the description box below to Express and Mail articles from 2013, as well as one from The Sun in November this year, reporting on beds in sheds in Southall, West London. Seems nothing has changed. This is not the fault of the immigrants, it is down to our membership of a system that places strains on our infrastructure via open borders that we cannot foresee and therefore cannot plan for. And I have to wonder how many pro-EU types are benefiting from this type of profiteering. This sort of thing is the true price of our membership of the EU, let alone all the money we hand over as well. And our younger people wonder why their elders want us all out of the EU. What do you think? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.